Welcome to By Faith. My name is Maribel Johnson, and today I would want for us to talk about why it is important for us to pray to which church we should go to. I previously made a video that was pertaining to whether we should forsake the assembly, meaning that whether we really should stay away from church altogether, because yes, some people believe that it is not that necessary to even go to church altogether, and there I'm actually expounding on why it is necessary for us to go to church and to be part of that family, that church family, this church community. In this video, I would rather like to focus on the reasons why we should pray to which church we actually go to, because what we see sometimes is that we just go to any kind of church, more so related to how we feel in that. Do we like, for instance, the music that we hear? Do we like the preachings that we hear? Solely based on that. But that is not how it is supposed to be. Also, very important, or maybe I'd say the main focus or the main point of why many people go to certain churches is more so related to who they are going with, what kind of relationships they are forming. Some people go in order to find a partner, and most people go there because of family members going there or friends going there. And this is where this is where things go left, because the reason why we should go to church is to put God first, meaning that when we go to church, we should know and understand that we are going for God and because of God first, that we are trying to get whatever He is trying to do in us or through other people for us and with us for other people again, that we should go there because of, well, we want to listen to what He has to say, and we want to be molded into that person that we ought be. And the church is usually a place where we receive that understanding, where we receive that molding, that transformation, because of the teaching that we receive. However, it is absolutely pivotal that we do that at the correct church, because God will plant us at a certain church where we serve, for instance, or where, as I said, we are being molded into whatever He is actually putting certain people and situations in place, that we grow in that manner, so that we can become who we are to be. To How can I explain it better? To, for instance, if there's a ministry in you that God has placed there, then usually the church is filled with helpers, if it's the pastor or whoever else is in position to help you mature. Even just people, it can be congregants sometimes, that help you get to that place. Mothers, it can be ministers, it can be whoever God has put in place to mature you into that position that He has in place for you already. And therefore we have to make very sure that we don't just go there because whoever we feel like we want to go for, well, no, whoever we feel like we want to go to church for, but because of God first. God is the only reason why we go to church, to receive from Him whatever He wants to imprint in us, or on our hearts, to receive whatever teaching He has for us, so that He can mold us towards whatever He wants us to do. Not to say that we will not receive anything at home as we pray, because absolutely that happens all the time, and it is super important. That's why you should have your relationship with God in the first place, right? Have a personal relationship with God. But also very important is whom you're surrounded by. The church is there so that we will encourage one another. As I said in the video, should we forsake the assembly? There I am going much deeper into the reasons why we should go to church. But here I want to make sure that we don't go to church for the wrong reasons, right? Because as soon as the dynamics of those relationships change, people sometimes seem to want to steer clear of church, or they don't want to go to that particular church that they used to go to. But if God is the reason why we are going, then He will move us into a place where we want to go to that church, where we still want to stay in that church, and where we actually move towards what He wants us to be or where He wants us to be. It is super important to not forget that, so that we can actually be the best us, the best version of ourselves, and we don't miss the opportunity of whatever God is actually trying to fill us up with, and get to where He wants us to, where He wants us to go, and be, or even stay. Because to some churches you may go and you will serve there for life. So that means that you are really planted there, and you will just stay there forever. You will just not leave. Not to say that you are chained there, but this is your really your place of service, and you will serve from out of there, wherever you in whatever position you are to serve in that church, sometimes even outside, but in the ramifications of that church, right? And sometimes you will leave because God has sent you out. In my case, for instance, um, I used to go to a church in Germany, and when I look back at it, I remember that the teachings they were very, very important for me, and I did not always realize it at the time, because when I got there, it was because of a friend. So I was one of those that went there first and foremost because of a relationship, because of a friend of mine, and she invited me there, and I started growing there. But then my friends, and we were a couple of friends there, we used to love going to church together, and we used to enjoy going to church, and being in service, and just enjoying the message and all of that. But at some point they were led to go and be at another church, right? And I was fighting in myself, kind of, okay, should I go too, because now all of my friends are gone and I'm here left by myself. But obviously God was not consenting with me going, and I was planted in that church for that season, and I was growing in that church, and I was flourishing in that church, and I was maturing in that church, and um, everyone that was placed in that church was helping me to get to where I was supposed to be going, as long as I was there. And that church actually also stood in prayer with me to get to the church where I'm at right now, praying for me to, as I was moving from Germany to the United States, to go to the church that God has me to go to, not myself, because I went to other churches when I started coming here just to see where God wanted for me to be at. And as He revealed to me that I should go to this church, I realized how important it is to have a true relationship with Him. I mean, not to say that it was not clear to me beforehand, but these are these life-changing situations where you really know that unless you have God on your side and you have a true relationship with Him, you might miss out on the opportunity, the very important opportunity of going where He wants you to go, or He wants you to be, where He wants you to be planted, and what He wants you to become. So as I'm now at my I don't want to say new church, but now that I am serving at this church, I am growing even more, and He's teaching me even more and showing me even more what He wants me to do, where He wants me to go, and how He wants me to serve, and who He wants me to become. So I'm still growing in the Lord, and I'm so glad that I never just went for the relationship, but for God. And that's what I encourage all of us to do. Pray to which church you're to go to, for God's sake, and not for any relationship's sake, so that you can become the best version of yourself and whatever God has called you to be. I pray that this has helped, and we want to always remember that everything in the Lord moves by faith. Be blessed.